What a long, strange trip it's been. But I gotta tell you, I've loved every second of it.
This man DDP has really come a long way. This man never asked for anybody's help. Everything he's gotten, he's deserved, and he's done it on his own.
Diamond Dallas Page. The guy they said would never make it, but did.
You're not going to find any more determined, more courageous wrestler.
He has that way of being able to commit to something and following it through.
He is where he is today because of a dedication that he's given to the sport.
He's so, and always has been, so driven and so positive.
He has a passion for giving back to life.
I don't know if I've ever met a guy who cares that much about his fellow human being.
He's a guy that has one of the biggest hearts of anybody I know.
You keep a positive attitude, anything is possible. Anything. The old neighborhood. I was born Paige Joseph Falkenberg, April 5th, 1956, in Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
He was a big baby, and he cried 22 hours out of 24. He was a boy that never shut up.
By the time I was 3 years old, my mom was married, divorced, and had 3 kids. She was 19 at the time. When my parents split up, my brother and sister went to live with my mom. I went to live with my dad. On my 8th birthday, my dad brought me to live with my grandmother. Now, I know it killed him to have to give me up at that time, but he also knew I needed some family structure. And that was the last time I would see my dad or talk to him when he was sober for the next 10 years.
He wanted to leave him for his birthday, and then I just said, okay, you can leave him, but you'll never get him back again. And then that was the start of Paige living with me, and also my mom, who was the main caretaker.
He brought me into this little home right here, and this is, I want to say it's 3001. Did I remember that right? Yes, I did. Awesome. My memory's not that bad. My grandmother, my grandfather, and my brother and my sister lived here.
This kid was busy. It was just me and Rory, and it was quiet. When Paige came into the house, it was let loose.
He had a tricycle. Like a madman, he'd be going round and round. I don't know, he had to get his anxieties out, I don't know.
My grandmother, she was a trip. And I pretty much feel like I raised myself, but without her guidance at particular times, I would not be the person I am today.
Even though I didn't have my dad, it didn't bother me one bit. We had our grandmother, we had our mom, and I had Paige.
Being able to grow up here on a dead-end street, we could play kickball, we could play baseball, we could play football, we could do whatever we wanted to do. I mean, a town like Point Pleasant, New Jersey was heaven, man. I mean, this was a kid's playground because there weren't a lot of cars and, you know, there weren't a lot of houses. A lot of these houses weren't even here. My life became about sports very early on, mainly because I couldn't read. I had ADD and dyslexia when no one knew what the hell ADD or dyslexia was. They just thought we were stupid. And as a kid, going through all that crazy embarrassment, it was brutal.
We played a lot of sports, which I think was a blessing for both of us because we had a lot of energy back then and we needed something to channel it.
Football was something I loved, and hockey. You know, I was good on my feet, you know, my skates, and I loved both of those. And what was unfortunate, I got hit by a car. Hit my front right knee, my face bounced off the hood, and I flew about 42 feet through the air on the other side of the street. I ended up in a hospital for a while and then got surgery, and while I was in there, and took out part of my kneecap, my meniscus, I tore my cartilage, my ACL. This is all 12 years old, so you can imagine my contact sports career is over.
He was devastated because he was great. So he had to find a new career. That's when he got into basketball.
How they let me play basketball is beyond me, because how basketball would not be considered a contact sports or really bad for your knees, you know, cutting and jumping and up and down and up and down. And I just started playing basketball. And what would come out of that, that was the beginning of me realizing what work ethic could do. Because as a basketball player, man, in the beginning, I sucked. I mean, I didn't make the team in 7th grade. I sat on the bench in 8th, and I swore that was never gonna happen to me again. So this right here, and man, there would always be full court games going on here. I mean, this was the spot. And a lot of times I didn't get picked. So if I missed getting picked, I'd head right over there where the other basketball courts are. Because the great thing about playing basketball is you can play by yourself.
If you told him, Paige, you can't do this, well, guess what? He's doing it. I don't know when, but he's doing it. And that was his mindset from a very, very young age.
And I went down that park and I played 4 or 5 hours a day, every single day over that summer. And when I finally did start to get picked on the team, or maybe I'd be picked number 10, before you knew it, I was picked number 8. And next thing you know, I'm picking the teams. In my freshman year, I went to a school called St. Joe's. I started on that team. My sophomore year, I started varsity. I realized, wow, you put the work in, there's the reward. If you add up broken family, alcoholism, getting hit by the car, getting your dreams ripped away from you, and really wrestling became another outlet for me too. I saw Dusty Rhodes and Superstar, you know, Bruno Sammartino, and watching those bigger than life characters made me think I could do that. Throughout my teenage years, 17 on up, I became a part of the nightclub business, and I loved the restaurant and nightclub business because, you know, when you're working, especially for tips, that's like Christmas every day.
He had it together. He knew how to manage the club. He knew how to advertise, and he was very good at that. That was his niche for quite a while.
So I was in my 20s and working in the bar business and having a great time doing that. But I knew I wanted to be this wrestler guy. So I got in touch with a buddy of mine, John Shipley, and we found a school in Jersey City, and we'd go up there once a week and start learning how to wrestle. Like, we could really learn something in once a week, which you really can't. So, and before you know it, I'm out and I'm doing a couple independent matches. I mean, I can't imagine how horrible I was, but I actually had 2 matches, and during my match, which was a tag team match, I ended up really torquing my knee really bad. That same knee, that I got hit by the car. And then I just got preoccupied with the booze and the party. I was about 23 or 24, and that's when I was like, okay, it's time to leave here because the bar business was, withering away. And I'm like, I'm gonna go to Florida, and I'm gonna open up a place there, and we're gonna kill it there.
He saw it, he visualized it, and he said, I'm going, and you didn't think anything of it. If it was somebody else, you might say, what are you doing? But with Paige, he said, okay, man, I know you'll do it right.
I was like the Prince of Promo, where it was a hot legs contest or lip sync or whatever we were doing. We come down, I call it Norma Jean's Dance Club, and it was just killer. And we were just raking the money in. I'm not even paying attention to wrestling at this time because I'm so focused on the bar business.
Dallas and I met my senior year of college. I was home from school on a Christmas break, and I went into the hottest nightclub in Fort Myers, Florida, which happened to be this club called Norma Jean's. There was this enormous, blonde, tatted up dude standing at the door, and I just went, wow, he's something else.
I was gonna buy her a drink, and then I realized when she went to reach for the drink, she didn't have her wristband on, which means she wasn't 21.
I told him that I'm just about to turn 21 any day now, and that was how we met.
We just got together, and it was magic.
We were having a pretty whirlwind relationship from the start. We took a little weekend getaway, and he proposed to me that weekend and started our life together. And we got married later that year. It was a great wedding, but I was 21 years old.
I start watching wrestling again. And out walks this guy carrying a bag over his shoulder. I'm like, that guy's got a cool look. And he throws the bag out there, and they're talking Jake the Snake, blah, 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 blah. And then I watch his work in the ring and his promo, man, and the snake and all that. I was like, okay, this guy's real.
You know, most people go through life never knowing what it's like to be a little bit different, a little bit special.
He pulled you in. So now I'm watching again. One night I'm in the back of my bar, and I'm looking, I go, that guy looks like Jake Roberts. And I walk up to him and I go, Jake? He goes, yes. I go, hey man, good to meet you. I'm Paige J, I run this place. He goes, good to meet you. Next thing you know, let me get you a drink, let's do some shots. Next thing you know, me and Jake are drinking buddies. Sure, Jake told Ted DiBiase, Bushwhackers, Shawn Michaels, so many of the guys came through.
Norma Jeans with the old pink Cadillac sitting out front. All of our guys that we were with went there all the time.
And we went into this bar, and this wild character was in there running the place, and he was the man. And he goes, man, I love the wrestling business. Someday I want to be in it. And I'm thinking, you're my age. I'm on my way out, and you're not even in it yet.
I was born to be a professional wrestling manager. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page is where the voice comes from. It's deep, it's hard, it's mean, it's ready to go. It's Norma Jeans Cafe's voice.
There was a show called the Party News Network, and I did all my own radio spots. They were doing a story on the guy behind the voice.
Some call him Page, some call him Page J. Some call him Diamond Dallas Page.
Good God! Now through the end of February, Norma Jeans Cafe, there's a special treat for all you ladies in the 80s, with free admission for all the ladies Monday through Thursday at the Norma.
About a week later, that plays, and I get a call from my secretary up front. Paige, there's someone on the phone for Diamond Dallas Page. His name is Smitty. He's a sports talk radio show. He saw this piece on you the other night. He really wanted to talk to you. So I pick up the phone. Hey, man, yeah. Well, yeah, that was me, but I don't really do that. You know, I was just making that up. You know, it was just an idea in my head. I tried it when I was a kid, but it didn't work out for me. And this guy, Smitty, says, you know, you should really do something with this. You have a gift. Well, how do I do that? He said, well, I got a friend of mine named Rob Russin. He said he's now working with the AWA. He goes, you should, you know, put him a tape together, you know, and send it to him.
I never had a bad day in my life, Daddy. And why not? I am the world's greatest professional wrestling manager in the world. A mastermind in the sport. With great looks, brains, good God, it's a deadly combination. But it doesn't stop there. The wrestlers of the Diamond Exchange are big, bad, and ready to go. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Oh, baby, check it out. Wow, the wolf is loose. Good God, you best be holding on to your seat, Daddy, because when the Iceman puts you in the deep freeze, it's lights out. Now, ladies, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the ladies on TV. Now, ladies, you must be get back to the limo. Get back to the limo now, ladies.
2 weeks later, he calls me back. He goes, this is Rob Russell from the AWA. Seriously? You know? He says to me, we really like your tape. You know, I've shown it around. We want to bring you and your boys in for a tryout. You know, there's one question we've got for you, though. You know, I've showed it around to the office, and everybody, you know, they like your stuff, but no one's ever heard of you. Where are you guys working? And then I'm like, oh, man. Well, you see, those guys can't wrestle. They're like, what? I go, well, you know, it's like a secret society. No one could figure out, you know, like how to get into wrestling. So, you know, we figured we'd make the tape and they could start training if you could help us out. And then I could manage them. But in the meantime, I could manage guys right now. And, you know, that was like a buzzkill for them. And I'm like, well, you know, don't call us, we'll call you. Paulie Dangerously is in the AWA. And 2 weeks after they make that phone call to me, he leaves and goes to the NWA. The AWA was starving at that time because so many people, you know, had taken their talent.
I'm not in a good mood. Get away from me.
And it left a huge void for a young guy that could talk. So Greg Gagne called me up and he said, Diamond, it's Greg Gagne. We're going to bring you in for a tryout. We want you to bring, you know, a couple of those hot women. I put a big case, like a trunk together with all my gimmicks in it. and I headed out to Vegas. Greg Gagne specifically had said to me, bring all those crazy clothes you wear. I wore those clothes all the time, the leopard skin jackets, the zebra skin boots. I mean, I dressed like that back then. I would say I was Diamond Dallas Page back then. I was creating this character, you know, that was a real person inside, mixing the two together. Now, I'm going out there never doing this, really, you know, managing. I've never even done it. It's just like an idea in my head. I once heard a reverend say, the quickest way to get there is to act like you've already been there. And that never left my mind. You know, you always had to act and walk and talk like you belong there until you feel it.
Give me that microphone, little Larry. It's about time that the new AWA Tag Team Champs of the World were introduced properly. That's right, Daddy. But first I want to introduce myself. My name is Diamond Dallas Page, and I am the greatest professional wrestling manager in the universe.
Well, Diamond Dallas Page, debuting as manager of the Tag Team Champions of the World, Bad Company and Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond.
I first met Page when I went to work for the AWA, and he was this tall, big bushy red hair.
I don't want to be messing up my hair.
Loud.
Good God!
Gold, zebra, glasses, diamonds. He was a larger character than the talent that he was there to get over.
With great looks, brains, money, it's a serious triple threat. And I'm not here to talk about myself. Diamonds are forever.
But it didn't stop him.
Well, let me speak and keep your mouth shut for a couple of minutes, and then you'll probably get it.
He was there to get his time.
Get up! Pay attention to me!
He was there to make his mark, so to speak.
Well, I've never seen such arrogance as that just displayed by Diamond Dallas Page.
And he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'll be really honest with you. I didn't really like him because he was so loud and because he was so brash.
Shut up when I'm talking.
I actually worked in the AWA for about a year and a half. But if you really add it up once a month, I really only worked maybe 16 days. And over that period, I got a call from Michael Graham. He said, I got Dusty Rhodes. I'm sitting across from him right now. He's coming down to Florida. He's left the NWA. He's coming down to Florida. He said he wants a good manager, on the team. And I'm like, Mike, no, I can't. I got to. All of a sudden I hear, hello? Good God, Dusty Rhodes, the Tower of Power, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, getting funky like a monkey with Diamond Dallas Page in Tampa, Florida. Good God. Filming that, I went on for like 45 seconds, stole Dusty's stuff, stole some of Captain Lou's, mixed it in with my own. He goes, well, I want to see you. I want you to come up here to the sports arena.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Good old baby, what's happening, brother? How are you,
Nice
baby?
to
How
see you,
are you?
sir.
I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be here with the institution, the dean of professional wrestling, brother. That's right, baby. When I got the call from you and you let me know that you wanted Diamond Dallas Page to be doing color for you on Florida Championship Wrestling, brother. Oh, baby, I can't tell you how good I felt, brother.
Afterwards, I'd come up and I'd sit, talk to Dusty about the business.
He had yellow pads of paper that he would carry with him everywhere just to jot down thoughts and ideas. And he would go through just reams of yellow pads, what he was going to do working with Dusty Rhodes that weekend, and really looked at him as his very first mentor.
And, as he left Florida and he went back to the WWE, I stayed in touch with him. Now, around that time, I got into WrestleMania 6 through Luke. Again, Luke the Bushwhacker has been one of my buddies forever, and met him coming through my nightclub, and he was talking to Pat Patterson. He knew that they wanted to do something with an antique car for Honky Tonk and Jimmy Hart and Greg the Hammer Valentine when they were Rhythm and Blues. So I get a call from Luke. Yeah, they're looking for an old car, mate, and I thought your caddy would just be perfect.
Take a look at the pink Cadillac. I like convertibles, no question.
So, the car got the gig. I got to be the chauffeur. At some point, Dusty got me a tryout up there, and Jesse had just left.
God! Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, from Chi-Town, Chicago. I'm Dallas Page here in Chi-Town, and we've got a hellacious night of wrestling here in the World Wrestling Federation. There's going to be slams, jams, body slams, so stay tuned. I screw up, bro. I'm a little nervous. Believe it or not, I'm a little nervous.
I didn't even really want that spot, only because whoever's going to follow Jesse Ventura is going to be the worst. You know, and I've learned that sometimes I don't wish for something to happen. I wish for the right thing to happen, whatever's supposed to happen at that time. And that's another thing about controlling your brain. Oh, I want that so bad. Well, maybe you don't want it exactly like that. Maybe you have to do this, this, and that to get there. And it did, and I didn't get that gig. So, I'm still doing Florida Championship Wrestling, and then eventually that goes away. I moved to Atlanta on a wing and a prayer. I developed a relationship with Dusty Rhodes in Florida Championship Wrestling. When he came into Atlanta to run WCW, I had called him, and I told him, I said, I'm selling out on my bar, and Dream, I would really love to do this business. And, I really love to get an opportunity up there. And he said, well, kid, I'll tell you. If I was you and I wanted to live the dream, I would move to Atlanta. So I pretty much made all my plans, sold out my spot with really no more than a guarantee of moving to Atlanta, and he was going to give me the opportunity to manage and maybe do some color commentating. And that's how I ended up with the Freebirds.
Oh, baby, that's right. Cooler than the other side of the pillow. You got Diamond Dallas Page and, good God, Jimmy Jam Garvin, Michael Pure and Sexy Hayes, the fabulous Freebirds!
Michael had no idea till I got there. But as soon as he heard, he says to Jimmy, our boy here, he's got chops.
Dusty Rhodes came in. I think what he was trying to do basically was give the Freebirds an upgrade. And I think we had some really interesting promos for a while.
I'm back on track, back in black, and anybody who gets in the Freebirds' way, brother, it's gonna be like they were in a gang war and didn't know anybody.
Then one night I get a call from Scott Hall.
I called Dallas, and I congratulated him on his success managing the Freebirds and being a color commentator. And I said, but man, you're too big to manage Freebirds. And I said, you need somebody to stand next to you and make you look small.
And I said, I'm guessing that's you. He's like, yes, it is.
I said, man, my old lady's 7 months pregnant. I need a job, anything. And he bugged Dusty till I got a tryout.
I'm bringing out my latest addition into the Diamond Mines. 293 pounds, the Diamond Stud.
He had a lot of catchphrases and stuff. And if you give him something to talk about, he'll talk.
Well, let me give you a clue, all right? The quickest way to get there is to look like you've already been there, brother.
His work on the mic was very strong. I mean, so strong that I thought that's where he should stay.
He's Diamond Dallas Page!
And you're not. See ya!
No matter how much I may love a song, if it's too loud for too long, I'll turn it off.
Magnum TA was Dusty's right-hand man, and he helped him, do all the talent relations. Magnum pulled me aside, and he said, listen, he goes, you're not gonna wanna hear this. He goes, but it's not your fault. I wanna tell you straight out right now. He said, we're not gonna let you manage anymore. I'm like, why? What did I do wrong? He said, I told you it's not your fault. He said, but with the hair and the look and the diamonds and the rap, you're taking too much attention away from the wrestler. So I sat there and thought about that. And I thought, you know what? I never got in this business to be a manager. I wanted to be in this business to be a wrestler. I was 35 and a half. And I thought, I'm going down that power plant. I'm gonna learn how to wrestle.
When he told Jimmy and I, he said, hey, bro, I think I'm gonna give this wrestling thing a try. I was like, what? You're ribbing, right?
That's a big transition. And to make it at that late stage of your life, you know, in your 30s or your 40s, pretty unusual.
I thought DDP's chances of making it were minimal at best. Best case scenario, his feelings get trampled on.
Everybody around him would say, dude, this is not gonna work for you. But he believed it, 100%. You can't tell him no when he has decided, oh, it's gonna be yes.
Starting out at the power plant, I knew that if I really wanted to achieve this goal at 35 and a half years old, I had to get as much in as possible.
That's when he started going to the power plant every single day. And he would be the first to get there and the last to leave oftentimes, and would come back all beat up.
You know, I'm the first guy ever to ice his body in professional wrestling. No one understood it.
I used to kid that, you know, I could wrap all my beer up on Dallas's body because he had that much ice. But Dallas was always kind of at the forefront of taking care of himself.
I remember thinking, like, how old is this guy? Like, you know, everybody in there's like 20, whatever, and here's Dallas, you know, he's 35, and it isn't an easy 35 either. He's got mileage on him, right? But I remember thinking, like, dude, man, this guy busts his ass.
After 3 weeks of training, I was put on TV. I was like, what?
The former announcer turned wrestler, Diamond Dallas Page in.
When I first started training with him, he couldn't really move around well. He'd got terrible footwork. He wasn't the best of wrestlers, you know what I mean? But he got really good.
I told you for months, I could talk the talk and I could walk the walk. I knew what to do inside of that ring anytime I wanted to. I just had to go back into the gym, go back in the ring, and start to polish up.
The clock was ticking so loud, it was like, like, you just got 5 years. That's what you got. You ain't gonna make it with that body, with those knees, you're not gonna make it past 40.
I would nag at him, go get a real job, for God's sakes, you know? And he would just go, hey, I'm doing this. If you want to leave, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. And so I just say, okay, well, okay. Keep doing the wrestling stuff, I guess.
There is nothing that Diamond Dallas Page can't do, and I've told the world that. First of all, let's take a look at the color commentating that I've done. It was impeccable. Let's take a look at the manager. I was the greatest manager of all time. But when you're 6'5", 252 pounds, good God, of chiseled stone, B-A-double-D, bad to the bone, I belong in the ring.
He worked on his moves, he worked on his promos, he had lots of different gear. I mean, some of it was really ugly, but he always had new outfits and stuff.
When he first came out, he had a ring on every finger.
He was always chewing gum, he had a toothpick, he had a cane.
He had sunglasses on, he had girls, he had a mink coat, a cigar in his mouth. I'm going, I don't know what this guy is.
He was like a kaleidoscope of gimmicks.
He's a portion of every bad stereotypical impression of a wrestler you can have. He's got them all.
It wasn't like, well, if one thing doesn't work, I'll get rid of that and do something else. It was like, well, if that's not working, I'll add that to this.
Anyone who gets in the ring with Diamond Dallas Page, it's been 2 hits. Me hitting him, bada bing. Him hitting the canvas.
Out of the three-quarter Nelson, he drops on the head.
The Diamond Cutter.
And it's a Diamond Cutter out of nowhere. Yeah, sort of a forward DDT.
I was getting this over now, the Diamond Cutter. This became more important to me than anything anyone could really ever understand, because this is what people started doing.
Dallas is one of the first guys who were really all off in the branding.
When I hit my finish, people fly out of their seats doing it. It made the bookers have to start pushing me. His experience in the ring really wasn't a question anymore. It was now about the character. I was losing the gimmicks, from the glasses to this to that. I really was down to just me and my cigar. I said, just get rid of all that crap. He said, well, bro, what about my cigar? I said, no cigar. Lose the cigar. Just go out there and be you. when you win your match, good God, don't go out there and be that. Let the fans put you over.
Where it starts to work for me, 95, I was Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Most Improved Wrestler of the Year. That's where I started to actually get where people looked at me a little differently.
People believed it. He was the underdog. He was the blue-collar guy. He was the guy that was never supposed to make it. He was the dream everybody has. And he went out into that audience, and the people reacted to him. And from there, he just went, pew, took off like a rocket.
This is where the big boys play? What a joke.
The NWO was really gaining a lot of steam. We were killing everybody to the point where now we need people to wrestle against, and we kept lobbying for, let's do it with Dallas. He's the right guy. Not only is he my friend, but he was the right guy.
Diamond Dallas Page would not be a bad choice for the New World Order to try to recruit.
You, my friend, can be NWO for life.
Now, if they asked you in those days to become part of the NWO, you bet your ass you better do it, all right? Or you're dead.
We're in the Superdome, 50,000 people or something.
We got Diamond Dallas Page.
Yes!
There we go. Great.
We love you, Page.
Scotty hits me on the ass and grabs my hand, and as he pulls away,
Yes!
It's a fish. Hey!
the place jumps out of their seats going crazy.
This man is out of his mind!
I take off through the people. They went bat man.
That time, no one had touched the NWO. He was the first guy to get to us. And it felt like, wow, full circle. Like, wow, man, remember when you helped me? I never forgot that. You know, and it worked.
So now we have the heat between Scott and Kev that I will be able to keep on for a while now. And Randy Savage says to Bischoff, I want to work with Diamond. And we built that thing. I mean, the best promos I've ever done. You know, because they were just so real and from the heart.
I really don't care what happens, as long as I get that one real good shot at you. If I'd have found you, sucker, I'd have killed you.
And Randy and I went out there and we tore it down, man.
You're watching hatred, brutality, revenge between two of the top superstars in our sport.
If you thought this was going to be pretty, you got another thing coming.
Randy really respected Page, and obviously Page had a lot of respect for Randy. And that mutual respect and the hard work that they put into it is what made that so special.
It would be the Feud of the Year, 1997, with Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
He evolved into the guy that was, damn, he's actually pretty good.
Without question, it was the Macho Man, Randy Savage, that solidified Diamond Dallas Page of being a top guy. You know, it's funny because coming down this street here is a time, man, where I know I couldn't read.
I had a problem with reading from being a little kid right on out, and I still do today because I'm dyslexic. I knew I wasn't stupid. I just thought I was a really bad reader.
Kimberly was the moving piece for him.
When he wrote letters to me, he was inverting a lot of letters within a word. And I said, I think that this guy has dyslexia.
I made a decision that I was going to learn how to read proficiently. And I thought playing basketball was hard. And trying to become one of the top players in my area, that was nothing.
He would say, I'm going to read 2 pages of this book every day.
As time went on, you know, I finally finished reading that book from cover to cover, which was a big, big deal to me. My favorite quote ever, if you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. Henry Ford said that. What the hell did he ever do?
There's been rumors that the mailman Karl Malone would don the tights and become a part of WCW and wrestle for WCW very, very soon.
I'm doing an autograph session in Houston, Texas. The Jazz are playing the Rockets. I get tickets. When it comes to the fourth quarter, Karl Malone's on the bench. He's probably got about 30 points at that point or whatever, and he sees me, and he makes a diamond cutter sign. Oh my God! Karl Malone just did the diamond cutter sign, oh my God. And then he sends us tickets to go backstage. Karl comes out and someone grabs, hey, Karl's here for you. So I go out there, meet, we start talking. I'm like, listen, I know you're a huge fan. I really appreciate that, man. But if you ever want to get in the ring, we got the power plant. It's not that far from my house, man. I can actually bring you down there, man, and, let you get in there and bounce a few boys around, man. I'm sure they'd love to do it. He's like, oh, that's great, man. So we exchange numbers. Then I hear that Rodman is coming in for the second time to WCW. And he's gonna do a whole thing with Hulk and the whole NWO deal. And I thought, wow, this would be awesome if it was me and Karl against Hogan and Rodman.
Diamond Dallas Page, if you got a problem with me and Dennis Rodman beating your brains out, I double, triple dog dare ya to step up to the plate and do something about it.
I flew out to Salt Lake City to meet with Karl, and Paige was there with me. And the chemistry between Karl and Paige was sufficient that I knew they would both work hard to get it done. I had a lot of confidence in Paige.
Karl Malone is one of the hardest working guys I ever seen in my life.
He came and stayed at our house and went to the power plant and learned spots with Dallas for a few weeks. And I'm just going, don't you have basketball games to play?
Whatever!
Four of the most recognizable faces in the sports world are center stage for one of the most anticipated battles ever. No denying, great athletes will always rise to the occasion, and we're seeing that right here.
DDP, Malone, Hogan, Rodman, biggest grossing pay-per-view in the history of the WCW. And it gave Diamond Dallas Page, the character, a whole nother visibility. 1994, I was so upset with the booking committee because these guys didn't believe in me, and I get it. I was talking to Dusty, and I was like, Dream, I go, I know I'm never gonna be you, or Flair, or Hogan. I know I'm never gonna be the world champion. I just want that spot. And for the first time, he never yelled at me before, ever. But he went, Dallas, shut up. He said, Dallas, if you don't believe that you have the ability to be the world champion, you need to get the hell out of our business right now. Right next to the phone was a ledger pad. And while he was talking, I grabbed that pad and I wrote on it, I will be the world champion in 5 years or less. It was 4 years, 4 months, and 14 days. It became a reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Spring Stampede's main event of the evening. A four corners match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
When it came time for us to, talk about Paige winning the title, I was very much on board with it.
When I first heard it, you don't really believe it because, it's Flair, Sting, and Hogan.
There it is! Oh. Diamond cutter by Paige! He's 1, 2, 3!
Oh, we've got a new world champion, guys!
And it's DDP!
DDP, and he earned it! He fought his tail off!
After the match was over, I walked into the locker room, and Brooks gave a big hug and thanked him, it was a moment.
I remember breaking down into tears because I knew how hard he had worked for it.
Dreams do come true. Hard work does pay off. If somebody commits themselves, how high can they go? I don't know. Diamond Dallas Page went all the way to the top.
We were driving, the phone rings, and I pick up the phone and go, hello? So, do you have it feel? I just started laughing. I said, "It feels real, Dream. It feels real." He said, "That's because it is."
A man who knows what it means to be a champion, to work hard. The people love Diamond Dallas Page, and they should.
How you feeling out there, Texas?
You could not have asked for a better workhorse, a better representative of the company in terms of what he was willing to do. He would have worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I think over the course of time, he took on a role as a locker room leader because it was clear how much he loved it. It was clear that no one had worked harder to improve, and it was clear that he had become one of the top performers in the business.
Fans gravitated to Dallas Page, the diamond cutter, the bang, throwing up the sign.
I love when they called him the People's Champion.
The fact is that when we call DDP the People's Champion, it's because that he is a man that came from literally nothing to go in the ring and champion their cause.
See him make it like that, I was so proud of the guy, because I love him to death.
You will feel the...
I, Vince McMahon, bought my competition. That's right. I own WCW.
There was a lot of turmoil toward the end of WCW.
It was the politics of AOL Time Warner. It was my budget's being cut by 50% in the middle of the year after they've been approved, 6 months earlier or a year earlier in some cases.
We were fighting a war every week with the WWE.
The war, the momentum had shifted. You could feel it.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for all of us fans. The uncertainty of our jobs, our future, of what we love and what we breathe and what we live. We don't just work for WCW, we live WCW.
It was the end of an era that you never thought was going to end.
I want to especially thank the WCW wrestling fans and my wife, Kimberly, for believing in me and helping me live my dream. Is that dream over? I don't think so.
Strangely enough, Dallas wasn't worried because he knew that he would land on his feet.
No matter what, I'm ending my career in the WWE. This is the company I've always wanted to work for. I was coming it's gonna be the best thing ever happened to me.
Look, when Page decided to just roll the dice, walk away from guaranteed money at Turner and go take his chances at WWE, that's typical Page.
I was 45. I didn't really want to take 9 more months for the contract to air out.
I accompanied him up to visit with Vince.
Getting to meet Vince, it was a big deal for me. Since I was a little kid, watching Vince McMahon saying, I'm gonna friggin' be there. When I met with Vince and Shane, they were really excited about this whole stalker angle. And I never really was, so that's why I went to the Positively Page character. And that got over. I like me, you like me, and I'm going to help you like you. Took a piece of my personality, which is really positive, and just worked that into a more exaggerated version of that. And then we even stuck yoga in there. Because it's positive for my body. And if it's positive for my body, it's positive for my mind. Well, the WrestleMania, that was the big goal. And working with Christian was awesome because the kid can go.
Page, the diamond cutter!
Get to work there at the Sky Dome where I was just 12 years earlier as the chauffeur for the pink Cadillac.
It kind of maybe almost bookended his career.
At that time, my body was pretty beat up because I was running so hard. At that time, I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga, but it was really the only thing I could do besides rehab.
And who got you into it?
You did. I said, I'm not doing that crap.
I had started practicing yoga as a Nitro girl to help maintain my flexibility. So just kept nagging him about it. And so one day he just said, okay, I'll try it.
I was learning in the the first 3 weeks how to figure out how to modify these positions that I had to get into, and it was really frustrating for me. But I started to feel a difference. Really feel this is working everything here. Then I threw in old school calisthenics, push-ups, squats, crunches, and I did them with a slow burn movement. So what I created completely by accident, DDP Yoga is a kick-ass cardiovascular workout that will dramatically increase your flexibility and strengthen your core like never before with minimal joint impact.
And then my marketing brain said, well, actually, you could bring yoga to a whole segment of the population who, like you, wouldn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole at first.
When I first heard about it, it was called YRG, Yoga for Real Guys. And I thought, hey, great, I hope you don't lose too much money on it.
This just became part of my life, and in the beginning, no one really listened to me. Until I had the video of Arthur.
Arthur is the poster child for DDP Yoga and how it can transform you. He had his son videotape his progress over the span of about a year, and he lost about 170 pounds. It was just miraculous to see this transformation and see how it changed him inherently. He went from walking on crutches and being partially wheelchair bound to being able to put his foot behind his head and running again. And so he put it up on YouTube and it just went viral, and then DDP Yoga suddenly had been introduced to the larger population.
When they saw this guy in 10 months lose 140 pounds, but more importantly lose the knee braces, the back brace, and the canes, one person after another, just like I did my wrestling career. I made fans, one fan after another, one at a time. And then it became 2, then it became 5, then it became 10 at a time. And in 3 years, it's now limitless what we can do with them.
When I finally came to him and had started doing it on my own and started seeing some results and said, why didn't I do this stuff when I had the chance 15 years ago? I could have saved myself.
Dallas came out to my house a couple times and put me through workouts, and I was sweating bullets and shaking and didn't have a pound of weights on me, and we were just doing his exercises.
And it's helped so many other superstars, from Chris Jericho to Goldust, the list goes on and on.
It's not your mama's yoga. You feel the bang, man. Boom! You know what I'm saying? I feel it.
I showed up at WrestleMania, I was down 50 pounds and getting goosebumps, thinking about it. And I just really felt good because he had worked so hard for all the right reasons, and I felt really proud that I could kind of be somebody that he could point to who had benefited from his hard work.
If you can envision it, you can actually really make it happen. If you put the work in, anything's possible.
Once again goes to show his passion and his heart and his desire and his willingness to not stop when he gets an idea that he thinks will work, that he's going to make that work. I mean, he recently opened his center in Atlanta.
Arms out to a T, clench your fists. Attention.
It's great, he was laying it out to me when I was at his house the one time, and I was like, oh, I don't know, this seems like a faraway dream.
We're standing in front of a former eye care center that is about to become the home of the DDP Yoga Performance Center. So this is going to come out to where the orange sign is right there, and these are the markers. It'll come out this far. As you're coming in the door here, you'll see it's like a really wide hallway, like 7 feet wide.
But everything he talked about came to fruition.
We run that theme of the brick coming through. We wanted to feel like we were busting through and changing lives. The main room, this is where all the actions goes. This right here is the stage where you saw us working out at. And you can see over here, we have the article for the New York Times Magazine. And they did a 6-page spread on what was happening with Jake and Scott and DDP Yoga.
With Scott Hall and Jake Roberts, I think you can make a pretty good argument that without Diamond Dallas Page, those guys wouldn't be with us anymore.
I think Jake was as bad an addict as you can be. I just wanted to try to help him and try to get him back on track. And I could do it because I've helped so many other people. I thought, okay, let me try to pop him into this and see if it's possible.
You know, you go to rehabs, man, they feed you dog crap. Yeah, I'm sorry. Being in Dallas, he gives you the best of foods. You still had the opportunity to go out and do whatever you needed to do. So there was some trust being built. First, we got to trust ourselves. Scott and I have a hard time with that because we're so scared we don't want to go back to that.
I was drinking myself to death and, you know, making bad decisions and being immature and feeling sorry for myself. I mean, a lot of negative things were going on for me in my life. Dallas reached out to me, and it turned out to be great for me. It turned out to be great for me, life-changing.
The transformation Scott Hall went through, he looks like really no time passed since 2002. You know, you never know that 14 years and how much damage he had done in between there. You look like $1 million.
And I have the luxury of having a lifelong friend standing a couple feet in front of me, just putting me through the workout.
Dallas has that ability to make you see the good in yourself when you don't want to see it. That's a special gift.
I'd like to thank Dally for reintroducing me to myself and restoring hope.
Dallas would not give up on them, and he was determined to implement his paradigm onto Jake and onto Scott. Now, it's how many years later, they've got inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know, they're living productive lives. When you go through the depths of hell together and then you come back, there's bonds there that can never be broken.
They're doing great, and I'm very proud of Jake and very proud of Scott for the steps that they have taken to better their lives.
I get labeled as being one of the nicest guys in the business. I'm not that nice. I like these guys. I don't want them in my house. They're certainly not eating my food. Yeah, he goes that extra step.
God has really blessed me when it comes to women that I've married. Both times, they were awesome choices. Last time I was on the beach, I was with my beautiful wife, and we were getting married. We had a beautiful wedding down in Mexico. Our family was there, best friends came, even Kimberly and her husband came, which was really awesome.
Kimberly and Brenda get along very well, which I love because that's important. That's important for Paige, too, as well.
Kimberly and I talk frequently, and I've said to her, you married the boy, I married the man.
You know, I have been interviewed thousands of times, and everybody wants to know, so, DDP, what do you think of your WWE run? I have to admit, it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, but I really want to focus on what happened starting 5 years ago, where I was the host of the very best of Nitro.
He's very humbled when he's asked to come back and that he's still relevant, like that they still care.
Next thing you know, I'm doing old school Raw. I'm doing the 1000th episode. Next thing I know, I'm at the Royal Rumble at 59 years old, banging diamond cutters. Diamond cutter! And then, 2 days from 60, I'm at WrestleMania.
Yo, it's me. It's me.
What?
It's DDP.
Is it really? It is! Diamond Dallas Page! DDP with the elimination.
Hello?
Dallas.
Yes.
It's Hunter.
Hey! Oh my God.
You in the old stomping grounds?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I actually went to my house that I hadn't been to in about 20 years that I grew up in. Then going along the, the stomping grounds and the bar business and, just down on the boardwalk. I hadn't been here in a while either, really looked around, so it was perfect timing, man.
Yeah, no, that's really cool, man. I actually was doing an interview for your DVD, and they were asking me about my first impressions when I met you and stuff, and I, this guy that's 35 years old trying to get started in the wrestling business and all that, and he said, hey, the one thing that it was, man, he was just so driven. You defied the odds with that and did what very few people could do and just turned it around and made this unbelievable, amazing career and just everything you've done on the way. And then everything in between of you working with guys and whether that be Scott or Jake, and just all of it, man. But I wanted to call you myself personally because I've known you since kind of the beginning of my career, and we've known each other for so long, and I couldn't be more thrilled to tell you that we're going to put you in the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Congratulations.
Hey, man. I love you, bro. You know, I really appreciate that. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Can't talk too much right now. Oh, man. My God, I just wish Dusty was here. I've never taken the conventional route, and I never will. Doesn't work for me. Diamond Dallas Page was the anomaly. He was never supposed to happen, but he did.
If he wants to get something done, by God, he's going to move hell and earth to go get it done. And that's what he did.
You can't stop him. He's like a cyborg.
You start at 22, you try to wrestle, you have 3 matches, you're horrible, you hurt your knee, you're out. And then at 40, you have your career blow through the roof. I just always have taken the path less traveled. And that goes from how I learned to read, how I wrestled, and how I developed the whole DDP yoga program.
The essence of Diamond Dallas Page is a very positive guy, or he would have never overcome the challenges he had to overcome to achieve what he did in the ring.
It is a true testament to if you really want something and you go work hard for it, there's a good chance you're going to get it. And if you don't believe me, go ask Dallas. He'll tell you about it for hours and hours.
I wouldn't have changed a thing. I've learned off of everything I've ever done, and thank you, God, I've been fortunate enough to continue to have an unbelievable run in life.
Dallas is like a brother. If I have something that I need to talk about, probably 2, 3 people that I can actually call, and he's one of them. Lucky to have Dallas in my life.
There's good in the world, and he's gonna show it any way he can. And just bring as many people on that train as he possibly can. That's his passion, and that'll be his legacy.
Dallas is one of my best friends. If I said, Dallas, I need some help, you're broke. I'll be right there. And he'd get on an airplane and he'd fly to wherever I was at and help me out of a gym.
Everyone who knows him knows he's a really special guy. My love for him has not diminished one bit from the day that I met him. He's family and always will be.
He never changed from being the great dude that he was when he was at Norma Jean's, just having fun, pouring booze down our necks, to a guy now that does the yoga, that wants to help other people have a better quality of life.
Hard work, positive attitude, refuse to be denied, and be willing to give. That's Diamond Dallas Page.